he came to stay with us, and we're walking through that. And it's like I just worry about him hitting rock bottom.
What's up, Brooke?
Hello, John. Thank you for having me on your show. Super excited.
You said that awesome. You're like, thank you. I'm super excited.
Thank you for having me on your show. It means a lot.
You got it. What's up?
So, I guess just briefly, my question is, how do I help my brother that is staying with us be financially responsible? And I can kind of dive into that a little bit more if you would like.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay, so a long story short, my brother moved in with us this last August, and he was kind of like at a rock bottom place. And my husband and I told him that he could come stay with us. And, you know, he was kind of struggling financially. And I believe that he struggles as an alcoholic and struggles with maybe like a gambling addiction. And, you know, we just kind of laid it out for him, you know, that we want him to get he could come stay with us here.
Hey,
and I guess...
Hey, Brooke, talk right into your phone for me.
Yes. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, much better, yeah. Okay.
Okay, and so he's staying with us. He has a job, and I guess our only obligation for him was that he had to stick to a budget. And we're not asking him to, you know, pay any bills or anything. We just wanted him to stick to a budget to be able to pay his debt off. But I think for us, it's kind of like I feel like having to mother him to stay on that budget. And I don't want to damage our relationship, and I don't want my husband and I's relationship to become impaired because, you know, I'm kind of like in a hard situation. You know, my husband supports him being there, obviously, but it is a hard balance between the two.
Sure. So, here's what you did. You put a boundary down.
Okay.
And so when you have a boundary, you have to have some sort of accountability tool.
Okay.
For you to live here, you must do a budget. And so the accountability tool means every week you have to show it to me.
And that's what we were doing. And so like last month, it was kind of derailed, and it just feels like...
What does that mean? It was kind of derailed, or your brother spent a lot of money?
Yeah, he spent a lot of money that he didn't account. So we want to sit down and like say, you have to account for every dollar. Like,
okay, that's different than I want you to keep a budget.
Okay. So, and I guess that's where I'm like, is that like a little bit too much? Like we're wanting him to sit down and go over his finances and account for every dollar, because this is kind of my demeanor behind it too. Like, we're not asking you to pay any bills. You know, my husband and I both work. We have 5 kids. Our plate is like to the max. And so when you're, you know, stopping at the convenience store every day, or you're eating out every day, or you're buying snuff, or you're buying vape, like that to me is like not okay. And so I'm having a hard time, like, not trying to be his parent, but also holding him accountable.
He didn't ask for your accountability.
Okay.
And I know that's hard to hear.
So how do I get myself out of this situation?
You for some reason think you can save him. And he's trying to let you know, I don't want your saving.
I think you're totally right.
And I can't think of a more heartbreaking thing than a brother or a sister trying to save their sibling. He don't want your help. He wants to just keep living his life. He wants you to bail him out. He wants you to feed him and give him free rent.
I have a passive personality. So how do it's really hard for me to sit down and say, hey, listen, brother. And this is what my husband's told me. He's like, hey, honey, like, I know you want to help him, but you have to let him go and figure it out.
That's right.
How do I do that? Because this is kind of like another thing I'm struggling with. My brother came to stay with us, and 2 days later, my husband lost his twin brother to suicide. And
I'm so sorry.
he came to stay with us, and we're walking through that. And it's like I just worry about him hitting rock bottom, which I know I can't be his savior, and you're right. That just totally hits the nail on the head.
Yeah. It like, give yourself some grace. You guys lost somebody so close. And my impulse is the same as yours. I want all my chickens real close to me. All of them real close. My kids will never know how many times I get up and walk by their doors while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
They'll never know.
And I just naturally have that personality. And so
did you and your brother, was it pretty tough growing up?
Yes, we had a tough childhood.
Okay.
And yeah.
And it sounds like he's still got demons, and he's figured out a couple of tools that quite honestly work. They numb the pain.
Yes.
And you learned at a real young age, I'm going to make sure everybody's okay because that'll keep me safe. And so hear me say, you didn't not keep your brother-in-law safe. That's not on you. And you can't extract the hurt from the other half of your husband's heart because he lost his twin brother. And so you can sit with him, but you can't make that okay. That's a hurt that you can't absolve him from. And you've been trying to take people's hurt from them your whole life. And your ding-dong brother, who you love to the moon and back, is just choosing to burn his life down like a candle.
Well, and I feel like he's only doing good because we have our thumb on him. And I'm just like, I'm so just overwhelmed every day between being a wife and a mother and so many things. And I'm just like, I want him to do good and right, but I don't have the energy to exert on okay, did you do your budget today? Okay, you can't be spending money, so how do I move forward? What's the next best thing, as I hear you say? What do I do to not sever the relationship, but also let him know that, okay, brother, I love you, but how do I sit down and have this conversation? Or
did somebody leave you growing up?
Yes.
Who left?
My grandmother raised me. So my mom and dad were never in the picture.
Will you do me a favor?
Yes.
Will you take both of your shoulders and clench them up as tight as you can around your ears, real tight, and then count backwards from 3, 2, 1, and drop them? Okay? I don't want you to hear me. They left because something was going on with them, not because of you.
Yes.
Okay?
It took me a while to realize that, but yes.
But you still think if your brother struggles with alcohol and he gets pissed off and leaves, that it's your fault. It's not. If there is a severing of the relationship, it's because he chose to walk away.
Okay.
Okay? Your husband's brother, very, very sick, struggling deeply, and made a choice that he can't take back.
Yes.
That's not a relationship that you severed. The one person you have never stopped to put both hands on the bathroom counter and look into their eyes and ask, what do you want, is you. So the next right move is you being really, really honest with Brooke and asking, what do I need right now? And if the first thing that pops in your head is, I need my house back, I need this guy out of my house, then that's your answer. If your first response is, I need some help with the kids, awesome. Sit down with your husband and talk about hiring a college student to come by a couple hours a week just to play. If the first thought is, I miss my husband so much I can't breathe, then y'all figure that out. Or I need some me time. I want to go back to school. I hate my job. I want to give 3 of my kids back because 5 is too many. I don't know what it is, right? But I want you for the first time to write down a piece of paper. What do you want? What do you need? In counseling, there's a nerd word. We call it leakage. The stuff that you're hanging on to real tight will find a way out.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually happens at an inopportune time.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can, in a controlled burn, take the lid off and relieve some of that pressure intentionally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The second part of this is, I think it would be really wise to sit down with your husband, because you know you're in this. And I do this with my wife sometimes when I'm over my head emotionally. I'm a very emotional guy. I write everything down with the help of somebody that can see a situation clearer than me. And I will go have the direct, hard conversation with it written down. Brother, I'm acting like your mom. You don't want that. I don't want that. And I don't like checking up on you. You're a grown man. You don't need me to do that. I'm wanting this more than you want this. So here's the deal. In 60 days, I'm going to need you to move out, find a place to live. Or in 30 days, I'm going to need you to find a place to live. I want you to be my brother. I don't want you to be a sixth kid. What, are you kicking me out? What are you? No. Let's just be honest. I'm not going to check your budget every week. I'm not going to get, I can't be checking up every time you buy something at the gas station, or every time you're vaping out in the backyard. This is awkward. You got 30 days, you got 60 days, and I'll be your biggest advocate. And if you ever want help with budget, with money, with whatever, I'll be here. But let's call this what this is, okay? And then that's the best you can do, Brooke. And if he throws a fit and screams and yells and calls you, you're leaving me just like mom did or dad did, then he's showing you his true colors, and he's going to head off.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he exhales and says, "You're right, dude. Thank you. You gave me 2 months of kind of a glitch in the matrix. Get my feet under me, and I'll be on my way."
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's
And
easy
I
to.
think, my husband has said, the same thing. And so I think it just resonates. And I know, that's probably the best thing. It's just, being that I feel like having that hard conversation of how I'm going to say that, not so much how he's maybe going to receive it, but I just feel wrong for doing that.
I
But
know.
then again, I'm like, my husband he's such a hard worker and does what it takes to provide every day. And I wanted my brother to get on his feet so that he could provide for his son. And it's just like, I can't, I feel like I'm kind of punishing my husband too, because he sacrifices so much for our family. And, I just need him. I'm trying to make my brother have the same drive as my husband. And it's not that. It's not so.
Hey, Brooke, can I tell
And
you what I really think?
yes.
I think you're punishing Brooke. I think, yeah, it's hard on your husband, but he married you. He loves you for every bit of the people pleaser you are, and he loves you for every bit of you taking every stray dog and cat. He loves you for that. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. But he loves you for that. But you, Brooke, keep carrying around that somehow you're going to be the person that keeps this thing duct taped together because mom and dad didn't, and you don't have that kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and it's funny you say that, because so many of my siblings have lived with me for various, just getting on their feet, and I'm the person they call, and it's like I want it more than they do.
That's
and then
right.
I get myself in a hard situation because I pour so much into it. And then at the end of the day, I'm the one who gets crapped on, for a better word. So
That's right. And here's the thing. It goes back to that original thing I said. Mom and dad didn't leave because of you. They left because they had their own demons.
yeah.
And somehow you don't think you're worth the life that you have now. You don't think you're worth this amazing husband. You don't think you're worth these beautiful 5 kids and this nice house you live in. And as long as you keep carrying that story around, you're going to keep letting in every stray cat that doesn't want to improve their life. Dude, anybody can come stay with me and my family if they want to turn the knob. People can come stay with my family if they need a place to crash. But I'm not going to burn my house down for somebody that just wants a place to not have to deal with their responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want you to consider, and this is going to be a sharp turn for you. I want you to consider, what would you say to Brooke? How would you love Brooke if you were to knock on your door? And you'd probably say something like, God, sister, come in here and rest. And if there was a bunch of hound dogs following her, you'd say, hey, get out of here. She needs to rest. She's working. She's got a house of 5 kids. She's got an amazing husband that she wants to spend time with. I want you to care about you at least as much. And there's probably some things, I don't want to speak this into your life, but there's probably some ways your husband's been trying to love you for years and you won't let him because you don't think you're worth it. I want you to go tell him you're sorry. Let that poor man love you. Am I right? Ask him.
I don't know.
Ask him.
Mm-hmm. I will.
Okay. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to be wrong. Y'all can just be like, that guy's an idiot. And y'all can say that together. That's great. I have a feeling he'll be like, man, I've been trying.
I think I'm going to ask him that question. I don't know the answer.
Okay. The world needs more gentle spirits like you. And also, I think your gentle spirit is a very carefully crafted cover-up for a very strong, knows what I want and knows how to survive, scratching and clawing, hope-filled woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I want her kids to get to meet her. I want your husband to get to meet her. Because she's badass.
Thank you. I really appreciate the input, and I guess from here it's just having that hard conversation. And my husband and I, we kind of talked about it, and we were like, well, maybe we'll just give it till after the holidays, and then, or maybe tell him now, that way he can, prepare and save up as much as he can, and, be looking. But
can I challenge you one more time?
Yes.
How old's your oldest kid?
He's 14 this Friday.
Okay. He has 4 Christmases left in your house before he's gone.
I know. My husband and I just said that last night.
He's got 4 left. Let's don't take 25% of those as a walking on eggshells for a grown-up brother who may throw a temper tantrum at any moment.
Okay.
I'd rather you give him $2,500 and say, we love you. Here's a down payment on an apartment.
My husband mentioned that too, but yes.
Your husband sounds like the most genius guy who's ever lived.
He really is. He really is. He honestly is. And it's not that I don't respect like what he says. It's just like
he married you because he loves himself a spreadsheet and the next right thing. Yeah. And he married you because you have a heart that's so big. It's like oxygen for him. Y'all are perfect for each other. And there also is going to be tension there.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to want to buy generic dog food, and you're going to want to buy the dog food that, like, I don't know, is blessed by some holy leader in some other country. And it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just your heart. And so that's going to be awesome. But, I wouldn't burn 5 kids worth of a Christmas break dancing on eggshells. Or maybe you say, hey, we're going to let you stay through Christmas or through December 15th. And for those of y'all listening, this is into the new year, but we're going to let you stay through December 15th, which is a month from now. But if there's any kind of XYZ, if you smoke in the house again, if you vape out in the yard again, if you, like any of those things, you got to go. So you get to choose whether you stay here or not. But here's the rules for staying for the next 30 days.
Yeah. And then I guess that was where I struggled too, is like, talking about holding him accountable, but not really holding him accountable. But yes, I think I feel peace with telling them, giving them that time frame, and it's just sitting down and having that hard conversation. And I love him being around, I love him being there, but I think it's time and necessary.
Say those words to him.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when you choose to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the next 30 days, choosing to be here looks like this. Boom, 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 boom. And if you can tell them, if I made this awkward by having this conversation now, I get that. If you feel awkward here in the house now, I get it. Here's $2,000 if you want to go get an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody listening, do you have to give $2,000? No, you don't have to. But if you're in a position to do it and it just helps, then I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not like, you get out of my house right now. That's not that, right? This is compassion, and this is also honesty. And this is you for the first time saying, okay, I got to put my oxygen mask on. Because in the hierarchy of importance, I got this husband that I looked at and said, till death do us part, I made a covenant. I got these 5 kids that came into the world because of me. And then I've got this brother who's a grown adult who should be taking care of himself and his family, who's made choices up until now to not. So we're going to go in that order of importance.